So I wash that udder off, I milk that udder out, and then I dip each teat. Now, my dip is a little different. You can buy an iodine-based dip. I find that those are really harsh. They do a great job of killing bacteria, that's for sure. But when I've tried using them on my does, the teats began to shrivel. Their skin was not healthy. So I dilute that heavily. But now I've started using my tea tree mix, which is a tea tree and lavender with witch hazel and water spray, and I just spray that on. I found that that seems to be a gentler way. It keeps germs from getting up into the udder. It actually kills any germs that might be around the teat from my own hands. And although my goats get tickled a little bit, they seem to be healthier all around. Now, when you're milking and you first start milking, you're probably going to get a stream of milk. When I first learned to milk, I was milking cows, and I was the kitten's favorite person because they would come in and just drink the milk or lick the milk off my arms. That's actually referred to as wet milking. You want to make sure that when you're milking or when you're cleaning off the udder, you then dry it off so that you don't wind up with water mixing with the milk dripping into your milk bowl. That's not sanitary, okay? So you're going to wash it, you're going to dry it off, and then you're going to milk. Then you're going to teat dip, and then the goat can go back. She can maybe go back to eat more, or maybe she goes go back to the main pen. If you are sharing your milk and she's going back into the pen with her kids, do not dip, because her kids are going to go right back and try to get more milk from that teat because they've missed their mother so much, and you don't want them to have the medicines that you just put onto her teats. All right? So that's your basic milk handling. What the heck are people worried about? Okay. They're worried about tuberculosis. They're worried about brucellosis. They're worried about Johne's disease. They're primarily worried about Campylobacter, Pseudomonas, Salmonella, and E. coli. All right? Over the years, there has been a very measured campaign to make people afraid to drink raw milk or fresh milk. I was one of those people that thought it was terrible. I have a sister who drank fresh cow's milk from a commercial dairy. That milk was meant to be pasteurized. The standards of cleanliness were not what I would at all consider to be acceptable in a raw milk dairy. She drank it, and she got sick. She got sick with essentially what we now believe was Q fever, which is something that can be carried from milk-borne animals to humans. It's called a zoonosis. Now, it can also be carried by people working with parasites or working with rodents. And my sister was employed at a veterinary pathology lab where she worked with both of those things. So since her roommates did not come down with Q fever, we've decided, both she and I independently, that she probably contracted it from working with the goats, working with the rats, excuse me. Both she and I independently decided that she probably got it from working with the rats at the lab and not from working with the cows at all. But Q fever is a problem in Africa. It is a problem that we need to be aware of. It's one of the reasons that we wear gloves when we handle babies in utero, because that's another way that can be carried, right? The main concern that we hear about from people is that fresh cow's milk and fresh milk can carry tuberculosis. Excuse me while I itch myself here. That is a fallacy, all right? People drank fresh milk for hundreds of years until we got to the point where refrigeration was possible. When refrigeration was possible, then it became practical for commercial dairies to form, where milk was gathered together from more than one farm.